Alright, there's been some big time performances already, and it's just unfortunate Yoke couldn't get the win attached to his 41. Zoo was sagging off him on the pop or trails, so he just took those trays, but that's not a bad defensive game plan, because if he's getting post dumps or constant rolls, that's an automatic 2 or spray out, so it's better just to give him open looks from deep, and he just happened to get into a rhythm. But as great as it was to see him go off, this is more concerning than impressive, because if he's got to be the one making the most trays and only has 4 assists, that's a clear sign their offense is all bad. There were even a couple subtle instances that were evident of that, and it's rare to see one of the most connected teams look disconnected. At least Mike Malone is trying different lineups, and even inserted MPJ into that second unit to try to add more shooting, but there's just not enough production all around. That was more of the opposite for the Clips, and most of it came from Norman when they needed him the most. 22 in the fourth is absurd, but I'm not even surprised, because I saw him do the same thing in a matchup against the Wolves last year, and it was just a matter of time before he got hot with the looks he was getting throughout the night. A lot of them were coming from James, and in this quarter, they just kept running that same stagger for him to get to his left with Norman spotting up in the right corner, so he just skipped it over for him to eat. This win still came down to Yoke splitting the pair, and then him playing for the whistle on his game-tying tray, but it doesn't take away anything from Norman's ridiculous quarter. On any other night, I'd say he had the best fourth, but I can't after what Bron did against the Kings because of the way he did it, and he single-handedly won him the game off the momentum shift from that 21-0 run. In a game of runs, that was the one that secured him the win, and even down the wire when the Kings made one final push, he still controlled the game with his dimes to Ant. At least the Kings' 2 closers weren't just non-existent this time around, but it's hard to match what Bron does, and what makes his performance even more impressive was this came after he couldn't buy a bucket in the third, then just turned it on once the fourth started. It's still ridiculous to see him do this with ease in year 22, and at this point, I don't think he'll ever have a drop-off, so he'll probably just leave the game when he's done with it, not because he's washed, just watch the tape.
LeBron James again, again!